salty Gulf Coast to the rolling high plains, to the piney woods in the east. All across our dear Texas, folks need good food to eat. Our farmers and ranchers are heroes. They've always made Texas great. Texas agriculture matters. It's the heart of the Lone Star State. Oh, Texas got it all, y'all.
Well, howdy, neighbors. I'm your Texas Agriculture Commissioner, Sid Miller. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Texas Agriculture Matters right here on RFD TV. Today, we're diving into something a little different, a way to eat healthier and live closer to the land. Wild game and wild game meat processing. You know, Texas is blessed with a bounty of wildlife, including, white-tailed deer, pronghorn antelope, gray and red squirrels, javelina. These game animals can be harvested through responsible hunting that follows Texas game regulations, both public and on private lands. Now these days, wild game meat isn't just for hunters. You can find it in stores and restaurants all across our great state. But let me tell you, wild game isn't as common on the dinner table as it should be. Too many folks believe the myth that it's not only environmental friendly and that it won't taste good, or that it might even be unsafe. That's all hooey. The truth is, wild game has a unique, rich flavor that's far from gamey, but it has to be prepared well. And when it's processed by a licensed game processor, it's as safe as any meat you can buy. Now, hunting and harvesting wild game is one of the most environmentally responsible ways to manage wildlife populations. It's about balance and respect for the land and for the animals. And wild game is one of the leanest, most nutritious meats you can eat. Now, venison from Texas white-tailed deer, it's packed with B vitamins, minerals, it's lower in fat than grain-fed beef, and it's high in hearty, healthy, good fats. And it's organic. Eating venison, duck, or goose can even help lower your risk of heart disease, lower the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Hey, it's a big deal when these health issues are on the rise. So, let's go join Tammy Arnder as she learns more about the sustainable food source that's making a comeback in our kitchens and restaurants. Texas wild game. It's just another way Texas agriculture matters.
Chris Hughes is the second-generation owner of Broken Arrow Ranch in Ingram, Texas. This is one of the most unique ranches in the world. The concept of field harvesting and processing truly wild venison was pioneered by Chris's father, Mike Hughes, back in 1983. After developing the technology and helping to improve the legislation that made it feasible, Broken Arrow Ranch is still the industry leader in bringing pure wild meat to the plate, be it your dinner table or at a restaurant.
41 years ago, my dad, who's a serial entrepreneur, kind of recognized that there was a lot of demand in the restaurant marketplace for domestic venison, but there really wasn't any source for that. And then he saw that there was this growing population of non-native deer and antelope that were here in Texas that needed some kind of solution, some kind of population control.
This mobile meat processing unit is sent to nearly 40 ranches in Texas each year. The Broken Arrow staff works with wildlife ecologists, ranch owners, and managers to identify overpopulated herds on private land all across the state. The goal is to use selective harvesting to improve the health of the herd and land.
We harvest truly wild, free-ranging wild game meat. So we harvest non-native deer and antelope. We work with ranchers that have too many animals on their property. So we're actually doing population control as a part of a service to them. And we pay the rancher for the animals that we're harvesting. So it's a benefit to the rancher.
An integral part of this operation is the fact that they have a meat inspector on site, making sure that a harvested animal is ready for the freezer and, more importantly, ready for consumption.
We do all of the field harvesting under inspection. Government meat inspectors with us. And so that's what allows us to sell the meat to the public. They're kind of the people's representative, the third-party representative, watching to make sure that everything's done properly, that it's following all the rules and regulations, and that it's going to be, a quality, wholesome, safe meat to consume at the end of the process.
While Broken Arrow services some 800 restaurants all over the country, they also sell to individuals.
Each year we sell to about 800 different restaurants all over the country. Texas is our biggest market. We sell 30% of our meat here in Texas, but that means that 70% is actually going out of state. And it's going everywhere from California to New York, Florida, and everywhere in between. And then for the individual side, we sell all 50 states. People are coming in, calling in, or ordering through our website, brokenarrowranch.com. They place their order and typically getting it out the next day, 1 to 2 days, depending on the day of the week, and ship everything overnight. So it's delivered straight to your door very, very quickly.
So if you're having wild venison, boar, antelope, or quail for your next meal, there's a chance that it came from the Broken Arrow Ranch processing facility, giving you the purest, freshest wild game dining experience you've ever had.
There's a lot of reasons why customers choose us. There's a lot of different attributes. Some people like the free-ranging wild aspect of the animals. Some people like the humane field harvest. It's hard to say why somebody would come to us specifically for any one reason. I think it's finding, what that reason is for that individual customer, and just trying to make sure that they're having, the best experience possible and enjoying some of the finest, highest quality meat available anywhere in the world.
I'm Tammy Arender for Texas Agriculture Matters.
Well, friends, today it's my pleasure to have Kate Miller joining us. Kate is the Chief Operating Officer of the Fort Worth Meat Packers. Kate, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And you're right here close to the stockyards, right?
It was a quick trip this morning.
Well, good. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am like you said, the Chief Operating Officer at Fort Worth Meat Packers, which is one of DFW's last remaining meat packers. We started the business in the spring of 2020, and I've been with them almost since the beginning.
Oh, man, right in the middle of COVID you started.
It was interesting times.
Wow. Okay.
It was a good time to start a meat packer. So the facility itself has been there since the early 1920s, and it has been a variety of things during that time. During our tenure, we run a multi-species slaughter and processing facility. We have 2 dedicated harvest floors, one for large animals such as beef and bison and the occasional ostrich. And then on our small kill floor, we do primarily niche market animals, lamb and feral swine.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great. So what are the steps, when someone sends you an animal? Just kind of walk us through that real quick.
Sure. So there's a lot of planning that goes into the process before the animal even arrives. Most of the things that we do are custom processing, especially on the beef side. So the producers that bring us livestock have put a lot of work, a couple years worth of resources into getting this animal ready for us. Coming into the plant, the animals arrive into the facility, and then we harvest them on our USDA processing floor. At that point in time, we work with the producer and their end users to fabricate that animal in a way that makes the most sense for them.
So this meat is actually commercial meat. It's not just a processing one for the family. They come in, it's USDA inspected, so it can be resold, right?
Yes.
And if I understood in your opening, you have 2 separate floors that operate independent of each other, a large animal side and a small animal side. You have cattle, bison.
We do
Really?
we do
great.
Bison a couple times a year.
Ostrich on the big side, I guess. Anything else on that side? Or
Those are the
that's pretty
primary
much
ones
it?
on the large animal
And the other
floor.
side, feral hogs, domestic hogs, lamb,
and feral swine.
and feral swine. Okay, well, great. All right. So talk a little bit about the safety on this and the quality. How do you do that with so many different species?
So the USDA is the foundation of our inspection protocol. However, as an industry, we are also audited annually to the Global Food Safety Initiative under a BRC audit. That allows us to enter commerce not just within Texas and within the United States, but also the world at large.
Okay, so, labor is got to be a problem. It's a problem for any type of agriculture enterprise. So can you tell us a little bit about what technologies y'all have embraced, or how do you deal with the labor shortage problem?
So for us, we're very lucky being in a metropolitan area. We have an ample labor force here in Fort Worth. We're very, very fortunate that a number of our employees have been with the facility predating our ownership. So we have some employees that have been with the facility for 30 or 40 years.
Really? Wow.
And on the harvest side, that's really important. In swine harvest, for instance, there's a lot of mechanization that has occurred through technology improvements. For beef and feral swine, for instance, those are a little bit different in the fact that each animal is unique and different in terms of size specifically. So our employees are really our most valuable asset because they have to do all of this mostly manually.
Hey, folks, we're going to have to take a break, and we'll be right back with more with Kate here on Texas Agriculture Matters. Well, welcome back, neighbors, to Texas Agriculture Matters. I'm your host, Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller. Now, let's continue our talk with Kate Miller from Fort Worth Meat Packers. How do you adapt to the changes in the market and the market demand? I mean, it's always a little bit of influx, right?
Absolutely. So the market changes based on season. It changes based on how the commodity that we're harvesting at that point in time is performing in the market. So we just have to be very flexible, especially as a small regional packer where we're doing so many things. We have the opportunity to pivot if one thing isn't working as well as the other.
I know y'all specialize in specialized beef too. I mean, 5-10 years ago, no one had ever heard of Bonsmara beef or Wagyu beef, but y'all process those specialty beef products?
Absolutely. That's one of the ways that we differentiate ourselves within the packing sector. You have two choices. You can either get bigger or you can get specialized. And so we focused on specialty programs such as Bonsmara or Wagyu to really help producers at their level be able to market their products independently.
And y'all do the packaging, put it in their own branded boxes and things like that?
Absolutely. So we take care of the whole process and down to the retail level so that once the product leaves our establishment, they're able to take that product anywhere that they'd like.
So it's retail shelf ready once it leaves your plant. That
Absolutely.
Makes it a lot easier for them, doesn't it? Is there any other processing plants around that do what your company does? I really don't know of any.
Not within the DFW area. There are several around the country that do this, but we are in Texas one of the only ones.
What would you give someone if listening to this show? What kind of advice could you give them if they say, "Oh man, that's a great specialty business. I'd like to get into it." What would you advise them? How would someone start a specialty processing facility?
There's been a lot of interest in this space over the last few years. So I think my best piece of advice would be to completely do your research. There's a lot that goes into this. It's a lot more than just putting ribeyes into a package. There's a lot of quality and regulatory standards that go into making a program successful. So it really matters with who you surround yourself with. Your consultants and your employees are going to be the basis of your success.
So in doing this, you're obviously specialized, so you have to tear down and set up and retool, and then clean everything because you got somebody else's product coming in. What is the volume? What can y'all do in a week, say, of cattle and lamb, and just kind of walk us through a typical week at your facility?
So the facility itself can do about 1,500 head on the large animal side.
Really? Oh,
yes,
wow.
we can be very efficient on that side of things. We're not processing that much currently, just the market conditions don't support it. And on the live animal side, we can do up to 400 head a day.
Wow, 400 a day.
Yes.
That's no small specialty operation. That's a big operation.
We fall right in the middle between the locker plants that can do 1 to 10 head per week and the big guys like Tyson and JBS who are doing 6,000-7,000 a day. We're right in the middle.
Please, you're doing great work. Last question. Why do you think Texas agriculture matters?
Oh, well, I think we learned those lessons during COVID that we really are going to rely more in the future on regional and local agriculture. It's one of the things that we're really focusing on at Fort Worth Meat Packers is getting back to the basics and focusing on things like regenerative agriculture specifically. I hope that under this new administration and with current leadership, we can continue to focus on strengthening local food systems and building supply chain resiliency.
Well, I look forward to that too. Hey, we're going to make America healthy again. You're going to be a big part of it, right?
I hope so.
Thank you, Kate. You've been a wonderful guest, and thankful for entertaining us today, but also educating us on the multi-species processing. Hey, folks, let's take a look at another one of our great Go Texan partners. For over 20 years, the Texas Department of Agriculture's Go Texan program has helped promote products made right here in the Lone Star State. From boots to salsa, Go Texan members make the best stuff on earth. Now, friends, let's take a look at one of these fine Texas businesses and why they are Go Texan proud.
Go Texan every day.
My name is Alessia Benavides, and I am the pastry chef here at Chocolado, and I've been a Go Texan member for 6 months. I've had my bachelor's in culinary arts from Mexico, but then I came to Austin to do baking and pastry certificate at the Cordon Bleu, and then I was a pastry chef instructor at the Art Institute for 12 years. So I've been all over baking and pastry, and recently I just got certified as a chocolatier from the Melissa Couple School in Las Vegas. So I just love everything sweets. Owning a business was always like a dream of mine. And it's been really hard, kind of like with ups and downs of every business owner has. So I don't know, it just motivates me to do something for myself. And I did it, and I love it. Here at Chocolado, we make bonbons that are filled with a lot of different flavors. Our fan favorite flavor is the guava cheesecake and the lemon cheesecake. Also the key lime pie. Yeah, those three are the fan favorites. I've been getting a lot of good feedback from my bonbons. I even got a couple from Austin. They came all the way here to San Antonio, and they just got a lot of bonbons to take home with them. I also teach baking and pastry classes. That's another thing that we do here at Chocolado. Before having my own brick and mortar, we were leasing a space in a bakery that is close by here in the area in San Antonio. And it was very challenging because, it was not my space, so I had to kind of ask them for dates and times that they were available for me to use. So that was very, very challenging. But now I can schedule whatever, whenever. We offer those to everyone because some people ask me do I need to be a chef? Do I have to have experience? But you don't need experience. You can just come. We do everything in steps. And of course, if they have any questions, I'm here for them. Customer loves the classes. I've been getting a lot of good feedback about the classes. They learn so much. They take the stuff that they make here home. They share it with their friends and family. The customers love all of the classes. My experience with Go Texan has been great. They provide a lot of events and opportunities for you to get out there and expose your business. So that has been very, very good for me. I know there are a lot of resources in the Go Texan community. Honestly, I've just been here for 6 months, so I don't know all of them. But so far, It has worked with what I know, but I'm looking into getting to know more about the program. I'm Alessia Benavides. I am a pastry chef and owner here at Chocolado in San Antonio, Texas, and I am Go Texan proud.
Go Texan every day.
Well, neighbors, thank you for joining us for another episode of Texas Agriculture Matters. Hey, hope you enjoyed learning more about Texas wild game, meat processing, and how consuming can be a great, healthier lifestyle for you. Agriculture and hunting have always been connected. Now, responsible wildlife harvesting saves farmers millions of dollars in crop damage each year. That means wildlife harvesting isn't just important for our diets and our lives, it's a vital part of agriculture too. As always, I'd like to close by saying thanks to every Texas farmer and rancher who works from sunrise to sunset to help keep our rural heritage alive. Now finally, here's today's cowboy logic. Don't worry about biting off more you can chew, just chew a lot slower. Thank you and God bless. And remember friends, Texas agriculture matters.
Salty Gulf Coast to the rolling high plains, to the piney woods in the east. All across our dear Texas, folks need good food to eat. Our farmers and ranchers are heroes. They've always made Texas great. Texas agriculture matters. It's the heart of the Lone Star State. Texas got it all.